Today, we talk about going the minimalist path or the path of enrichment in your ball python enclosures.
Proper Royals.
Hey, it's Adam for Proper Royals. Thanks for joining me today. As always, if you get something out of this video, a like and a subscribe goes a long way. You know the game. I'm just trying to play it here. So minimalist or enrichment when it comes to your ball python enclosures. Let me start by saying both options work. This isn't designed to be some hype video to make people mad and incite all sorts of comments. If you have comments, please leave them. I love interacting with everybody out there in the community, but this isn't meant to be divisive. It's meant to be educational. So I personally, for a variety of reasons, lean towards the minimalist approach. Let's just set some ground definition. So minimalist approach would say basically the minimum or towards the lesser side of what's, just absolutely necessary to keep your ball pythons. There's a theory of enrichment which says the more things, for lack of a better word, that your ball python has to interact with, the more it stimulates their brain and a better life they lead because of it. Both noble outlooks in my estimation, but I'll tell you why I go with minimalist, and it starts, if for no other reason, it comes down to cleanliness. I hold cleanliness in the highest esteem when it comes to these animals. You'll see that running theme in my videos. I think from a bacterial safety standpoint, being clean is the single best way to care for your animal, regardless of whether you decide minimalist or enrichment route. Similar to washing your hands is the best way to look after your own health. Same sort of mindset there. So what does cleaning have to do with enrichment? Here's my problem. If you stuff a tub, a tank, a PVC enclosure full of plants, logs, climbing things, many hides, lots of substrate, you got to clean all of that. And we're talking, sorry to get graphic here, we're talking about urine, urates, poo. And if you've owned a ball python for any amount of time, you know that stuff gets everywhere. Some of how they work it out of their body is by moving around, moving those muscles. They push it out at various places. I find it on the sides of the tubs. In my tubs, I keep these little thermometer and humidifiers. You'll find poo all over those things. But let's take a best case scenario, a very loving snake owner that keeps their ball python in a heavily enriched atmosphere. Every time that snake soils, you got to clean the cage. Else your ball python is sitting in filth. It's not only that it's gross, it's that it harbors bacteria. And bacteria is where sickness, disease, all of that festers. What bacteria needs to thrive is food. So that waste provides food, time with that food, and in these other settings, the right temperature. Let me tell you, median of 85 degrees is just boom time for bacteria to thrive in. Bacteria needs oxygen and it needs moisture. We raise the humidity in a tank and an enclosure for ball pythons. There's plenty of oxygen in there. The snake needs oxygen to live. Of course, bacteria has enough to live. It's a thriving place for bacteria. So unless you're able to realistically clean everything thoroughly and disinfect everything thoroughly that you put in your snake's enclosure for enrichment, in my opinion, it's far outweighing any benefit that enrichment might have to offer, okay? Let me talk about the positives of a minimalist approach. From a cleanliness standpoint, I don't spot clean. I clean everything. If it's soiled, out goes the substrate, out goes the newspaper. I use cocoa for substrate on top of newspaper. The water dish goes right into my sink where I clean it, and the tubs right into the sink and I have other tubs ready to go. I swap it out and off we go. We're done, and it's clean. The snakes are kept clean, and I can go clean the tubs and sanitize them and have them ready to go for the next switch over. So knowing that bacteria and disease is the greatest threat to my snake, not whether it has something to climb. And I say that respectfully because these are valiant concerns, but they're so differently weighed as far as what is important, in my estimation. Until it's clean and bacterially safe, don't worry about the enrichment. Make the enrichment handling the snakes. If you want to set up something for your snake to be able to crawl on that you can clean and disinfect, that isn't going to be covered in waste, I would advocate that for enriching its life, but not in its container. Lastly, let's cover the very, very basic needs of what these animals need. And they are animals, and they need to be treated as such. It needs food. Of course, I suspect you're providing that if you have a snake that's alive. It needs shelter. And I don't know, it's a distant need. It's a strong desire to have the opportunity to breed and reproduce. But secure shelter, food, of course, water goes in with food as well. But those are the things that you need to provide. I don't know that I believe a snake has the ability to be happy, as in the fulfilled emotion. I believe a snake has ability to be unhappy if it's unhealthy. So for me, clean, bacteria-free, no such thing as bacteria-free, I understand that, but mitigated bacterial threat while providing food, water, shelter is what the snake needs. I believe anything beyond that is what the owner wants. Again, I say that respectfully. There'll be plenty of people that disagree, and there's a happy middle ground there too. You can have some enrichment. Not every bit of enrichment has to be just chock full, slam full. So there's a spectrum here, covering those basic needs and ensuring just the cleanest, safest environment for these guys is where I fall and why. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I'm wrong, if I've got this all wrong, if I'm missing something. Best of luck out there looking out for your ball pythons. Cheers to you wherever you are. Thanks so much. See you next time.